I honestly think that WordPress is slowly going to phase out a lot of WordPress themes on the market and is trying to get you to be less and less reliant on a theme. Because in this update, they've done quite a bit of changes to its core functionalities, and WordPress is taking their first step towards what they call full site editing, where you can edit the header, the footer, the sidebar, and basically everything without relying on a theme. For example, before WordPress 5.8, you got to rely on the widgets to customize your sidebar and footer, but right now in 5.8, you can use Gutenberg blocks to customize those areas, which means you can do something like this. This is an info box from Cadence blocks. You can add buttons like this. You don't need to rely on a navigation menu anymore. You can add an icon list and accordion, and basically you're now unlocked to a lot of design options in WordPress 5.8. If you're interested to know how I created this with the free Cadence theme and block plugin, I will show you how to do it in a while. But now let's first discuss what changes have been made to WordPress 5.8. But before that, I hope you can smash that thumbs up button if you find this video helpful, and do subscribe to the channel if you wish to learn more about WordPress, Gutenberg, and online business related stuff. I do have a bit of tutorials and comparisons on my channel already, so do check them out as well. Anyway, I'm pretty sure you have seen a couple of videos from other channels about the changes. I'm pretty sure you already know about them, but I just want to share with you my thoughts and show you some cool things that you can do with the recent update. The first change I want to discuss is that WordPress 5.8 can now read WebP format natively, which means that if you upload a WebP image, you will not see an error message like this. Now it works just like when you upload a JPEG or a PNG file. I know, what big changes has this got to do with you, right? You can just upload your JPEG or PNG to your site and use plugins like ShortPixel or Imagify to convert your image and serve them as WebP on your site. So there's really no big deal about this, right? Now, if your site is small, it doesn't take up a lot of space on your server, that's not gonna affect you. But to someone who has a site that has thousands of articles and images, this is a game changer for them. Because each time you upload an image to your WordPress site and have it converted to WebP, you basically have two versions of images stored on your server, which takes up a lot of space. So if now the webmaster can upload a WebP image natively, it cuts down the server disk space usage, hence saving money because they don't need to upgrade to a more expensive plan just for more disk space. And the thing is, WebP images are supported by 94% of web browsers, so I think it's pretty safe if you don't have the original PNG or JPEG on your server. The majority will be able to view your images. Now, there are two downsides to this. I don't want to just talk about the good things, I also want to talk about practicality. So number one is, even though WordPress now supports WebP images, it doesn't mean that your web host will. Some web hosts are still not receptive to the native WebP format, so just take note of that. You can try it out on your site and you'll know the answer. Now, the second downside is that most image optimization tools such as ShortPixel or Imagify are not able to optimize and compress WebP images. They can convert, but they can't compress. So in order for this to work, you need to make sure that your WebP image is well optimized before you upload it to your site. If you want to know how this process works, let me show you. It is a little tedious, so if you think this process is not relevant to you and you are happy with your current process of serving WebP images through plugins, that's totally fine. I don't want to waste your time. You can just use the timestamps below to skip ahead. So you can do it either way. You can convert it first to WebP and then optimize it, or the other way around. The free online tool I recommend you use is easygif.com, because with this site, you can do both converting and optimizing. Now let's first convert a PNG to WebP. Let's click on WebP and let's select PNG to WebP and let's upload the file. Now this is the image I want to convert. Take note of the size of this image. It is 72.6 kilobytes. Let's select this and let's upload it. And let's click on convert PNG to WebP. And here we go. The size of this image has reduced by 82%, and that's quite awesome. Now let's save this image. And let's try to optimize this WebP image and see if we can bring the size down even more. Let's upload the WebP image we have downloaded. This is the one. Let's select this and let's upload this. I will keep the settings default and let's optimize this image. And we have brought this down even more. Now let's save this again. Let's overwrite this. And now let's upload this image to a WordPress 5.8 site. As you can see, I like to put things side by side so we can immediately reference the differences. On the left, this site is installed with WordPress 5.8, and on the right, it's a site that is still on the 5.7 version of WordPress. Now on WordPress 5.8, let's add a new media and let's select files. Let's select this WebP image we have just optimized. And here we go. This is uploaded just like how you upload a PNG or a JPEG file. This saves you a ton of space and you don't even need plugins like ShortPixel or Imagify anymore. You save space on your images and you reduce the number of plugins by 1. And on WordPress 5.7, let's add new and let's select files. Let's try to upload WebP and we'll have this issue. So that's the first major feature of WordPress 5.8. It may not benefit you much, but as I said, it does benefit some people. Now, WordPress 5.8 is not only about new features, but also about improving the WordPress editor user experience. For example, we are on the WordPress editor of both versions, and on WordPress 5.7, if we click on this, it will give you a hierarchy of block layers on your page so that you can easily select a nested element for more adjustments. But the problem here is that when you click on a layer, this list does not stay open. And if you have selected the wrong layer, you gotta click on the button again and select the right layer. So it is not very user-friendly in this sense. But now in WordPress 5.8, check it out. If I click on the same button, it will highlight the layer as you hover to it. And if I click on it, this list doesn't go away, so I can just click on the other layers if I've selected the wrong one. And this is so much easier to design a page on a WordPress editor. To me, this is incredibly helpful. I don't need to rely on these small little layer indicators anymore. Another improvement WordPress 5.8 has is it has a lot more cooler patterns. Or if you want to call it templates, that's totally fine as well. In the previous version of WordPress, if you select columns, you will only see these 3 options. Not very enticing, looks basic, but with the 5.8, they have more sophisticated patterns. The same goes for headers as well as tags. And they have even added one section called query, which looks like this. These are basically a consolidation of your posts, and is one of the new features of WordPress 5.8 as well, because they have added something called the query Gutenberg block, which I will show you in just a while. It works like post greet from the Cadence blocks. But anyway, here's another feature. For example, you want to insert a star rating on your article, and you're not sure if you have that function. You can go to the search bar, search for rating, and it will tell you this Gutenberg block has this function, and if you're not happy with this current function you have, they have a section where they recommend you a few more other plugins where you can install to have that function. And on WordPress 5.7, there are no suggestions here. I don't know how this is useful to you, but this is now in WordPress 5.8, just so you know. Next, the new WordPress 5.8 has added more Gutenberg blocks in the native WordPress editor. If you compare 5.8 with 5.7, you can see that they have added the site logo, the site tagline, site title, archive title, post categories, post tags. These are all the features that you usually see in the WordPress theme customizer. Currently, I don't know how this will work, but I think it is in line with what WordPress is trying to do, which is to give the ability of full site editing to WordPress. Meaning in the near future, for very simple sites, you don't need to rely on a WordPress theme anymore. But currently, I don't see it happening right now, but WordPress is definitely moving towards that direction. And if I just scroll down a little in WordPress 5.8, we will see this theme section where they have all these dynamic content blocks. They have the query loop, which is basically the post greet. The function in this block is similar to your blog row or your category pages. You can add filters, such as filter by categories, or you can filter by author, or even a keyword. So you can basically add a query loop to any pages right now. And we have the post title, the post content, post date, and all this other stuff, which are dynamic blocks for you to create post templates. And these are also the functions you get from a typical WordPress theme customizer. So remember I said WordPress is moving towards a themeless content management system. This is their first step, but they have a long way to go. From what I see, if themes still want to be valid in the future, the key is in hook elements and more native dynamic features for use cases such as the booking function and the listing function. But that's a little far-fetched. This is just my little prediction and opinion. If I offended you in any way, I'm sorry. And if you have a different opinion, I would like to hear from you. Leave a comment down below. Now with all these, it leads to another new feature in WordPress 5.8 called the template editor, which allows you to create post templates. This is another feature to show you that WordPress is really taking the full site editing direction seriously. If they have ironed out all the issues and fixed the bugs, you probably don't need a theme anymore. Just kidding. Now that's the goal, and this is the first step they are taking. I don't recommend that you use this feature on your live site that is generating traffic and sales, because there are still some bugs which I'm going to show you. Plus, if your website is installed with those popular themes such as Cadence, Blocksy, Astra, GeneratePress, by default, they have opted out from this feature because it is something new and not stable enough, and they probably need time to adapt to this feature. So I think we can just wait a bit before working on this. But if you are interested to know how it works and how to activate it on your theme even when they have opted out, let me show it to you. Right now on WordPress 5.8 and on the post tab, we have no indication of the template builder. This is common to most of the themes out there. But if you want to activate it, you need to go to your web host and go to your theme folder and find the functions.php file. Now I'm using SiteGround, so it may be different for you, but generally the WordPress file systems should be similar. I'll go to File Manager and I'll go to Public HTML, and under WP Content, we'll see this themes folder here. And then for the WordPress 5.8 site we are on just now, we have installed the free Cadence theme. So let's double click on that, or whatever theme that is active on your site. And let's scroll down all the way till we find this functions.php. Let's double click it to the editor and let's scroll down all the way. Don't try to mess around with these codes, because with just one small edit, if you're not careful, it will break your website. And if you're not confident about this, I would recommend not to meddle with this code. So I will go to the last line of this file and I'll hit enter a few times to open up a few more lines, and then I'll add this code. And when you're done, at the end of the code, add a semicolon to it. And we are done. Let's save this. And let's go back to our WordPress editor. Let's refresh this page. And now you see there is this template tab over here, which was missing previously. Currently, we are on a default template, and if you want to create a new post template, all you need to do is to click on new. But before that, let me add a title for reference later on. Let's say the title of this article is Post Template 1. For the featured image, let's set this as our featured image. And as for the excerpt, I'll just write some simple text. And let's publish this for now. And then next, let's add a new template. Let's just call this post template. Now what I'm gonna do is, I've already filled up some content on this post and I'm creating this template, and then later on I'll create another post and use the same template without any editing and see if it works. Now let's create this, and this is how the template editor looks like. Now let me remove all these elements. Let me select one of the header patterns. Let's say I will use this. But right now, I'm going to use the new Gutenberg dynamic content blocks to display the post title, the post excerpt, and everything. So for this, let me remove it. And over here, let me browse all. Let's go to the theme section. Let's select post title. And as you can see, it's drawing information from the post. I'll change the size of this post title and I'll bring it up. And over here, I want it to display the post excerpt. So let me remove this and add a new block. Similarly, let's go to the theme section and let's click on post excerpt. And let's bring this up. I don't need the button, but I need the post date. And there we go. Now here's the important thing. This is the header template of the page, but I still need to draw the post content. So I need to add this Gutenberg block right below this header design. So let's add this post content right here. Now let's update this. Let's go back, add in some text, and let's update this. So the blog post now looks like this. Now what if I want to add a new article? Let's say I open up the post in a new tab and add new. And for this article, I'll just write as post template 2. I'll write in some text, write in some excerpt. Let's publish this. Sorry, I forgot to select the post template we've just created. Let's update this. And if we view posts, as you can see, without doing anything else, the new article is displayed on the template. So this is the new feature from WordPress 5.8 called the template builder. It is still in the infancy stage and it had some bugs. Sorry, not bugs, but something to improve on. For example, if we want to edit the template, and we want to add a dynamic featured image, let's go to the theme section. Let's select this post featured image, upload it, In the media library, let's select this image and let's update it. And if we go to the post template one and let's refresh it, the image is big. And there is no way that I can adjust the size of the image. This is something that WordPress can improve on, but generally I think this is awesome. I really hope to see more teams being able to use this template builder. I think this template editor feature has a lot of potential. Cool, now let me show you probably the best feature of WordPress 5.8, which is the ability to style widgets with blocks. Now if we go to the homepage of this website, we can see the sidebar content here, which is reflected here on the sidebar 1 widget. And if I remove all these blocks and update it, all this will be gone. Now what I want to do is to add an image here, my name and a button that links to my About Me page, and also some social media icons. So let's go back to the widget area and let's add a block, browse all, let's select info box, and let's edit this. And let's say for the background settings, I want to turn the background to transparent, so I'll put a 0 here under this A. And if I go to hover, I want it to be transparent as well. Now I want to turn this icon to my image. So under the media settings, I want to change this media type from icon to image, and I'll select this image. I'll put this maybe as 300 pixels. And for the title, I'll put in my name, some text, and I will add a button. Over at the Learn More settings, I want to toggle this on. So you'll see a Learn More here. Let me add a border to the button. This looks fine. And if we want to add some social media icons, let's search for social. And let's select this Gutenberg block. Click on this plus. We have YouTube here. We can search for TikTok, Facebook, Pinterest, and whatever you want. And to make this work, you have to input a link. So I would say to link to your social media profile, but over here, I just want to show you an example. And if I don't like the social media brand colors, I can turn it into my own color like this, and I can align this center. Let's update this, refresh, and see how it looks like right now. I think this is looking quite decent. And the thing is, if you want to add some buttons over here, you don't need to rely on a navigation menu anymore. You can just use the button block. Let me show you. For example, on the sidebar, I want to place a button here to link to my most important page on the website. So just add block, search for button, select advanced button. Let's say this is something like this, updates, refresh, and here we go. It looks quite decent. And now for sites that provide services, you will usually have an FAQ page. But what if you can add a FAQ section in the footer? That's gonna be cool, right? So let's go to widgets. The footer 1 of my theme will appear on the left, footer 2 will be in the middle, and footer 3 will be on the right. So I will put a FAQ in the middle. Let's go to widgets, footer number 2. Let's search for accordion. I'll just select any styles. I'll just add some text just for example. So this is just for fun, don't actually put this, otherwise nobody will want your services. And here we go, we have a FAQ section right here at the bottom. We can even add a header. Let's bring this up, FAQ. That's it. Now it is so easy to customize your footer and you're unlocked to all these design options. This is amazing. So these are the most notable changes in WordPress 5.8. Now let me just run you through some other smaller features which you might or might not use. I'm gonna go through this quickly so I won't be wasting your time. I know how valuable your time is. Number 1 is when you upload a new image, the 5.8 will have a button for you to copy the image URL, but on a 5.7 version, you don't have this option. I don't know how this will help you, but if that helps you, leave a comment down below and share it with us. Let's see how useful this feature is, and maybe your comment can help someone else. Let's grow together as a community. The next feature is the dual tone filter. So for example, you have added an image to a post or an article. All you need to do is to click on this and select all these presets and you will see the dual tone filter added. I'm not sure how this feature will help you. Normally, I'll edit my images somewhere else instead of in the WordPress editor. I will edit the image on Photoshop instead before adding it to my WordPress site, and that's my personal preference. If you really like this feature, let me know in the comments how this helped you. Now, you can even change the color if you want. And that's basically it for this feature. Next, WordPress has put some focus on their table block, and the feature added to the table block is it has more design options. For example, a gradient background. So if you compare WordPress 5.8 to WordPress 5.7, there are not much design option in the 5.7, but there are a lot more design option in 5.8. You can customize the text color, you can even add a gradient background, for example, something like this. But over on 5.7, you only got this. Personally, I think this is quite a cool feature, but what do you think? Is this something cool for you? Now, the last feature I want to share about 5.8 is they have improved on the PDF view. On the WordPress 5.7, when you upload a PDF file, all you see is this on the page. But if you upload a PDF file on 5.8, you will basically see a PDF viewer like this. And you will also have this just like in 5.7. And this is awesome. For somebody who needs to embed a PDF file for your viewers to read, now you don't need to rely on a third-party plugin. This works just like the PDF viewer. You are able to zoom it. You are able to go straight to the page you want. You have all these features over here. It works similar to the PDF viewer. If I publish this and preview it on a page, it looks just like it is in the WordPress editor. And for me, this is a great improvement. And that's basically it. The WordPress editor and the Gutenberg community is getting better and better. And I've been saying this for quite some time now. You really don't need a page builder plugin to build amazing looking websites. And I've proven it in so many tutorials already. And it's not that hard to make a switch. Every page builder, be it Elementor, Thrive Themes, Oxygen or Bricks, have a learning curve. The same goes for Gutenberg. So it is all about the choices you make. And if you decide to go with Gutenberg, here are some tutorials for you. If you follow just one of the tutorials, I'm pretty sure you'll find it is not that hard to use Gutenberg. Anyway, hope to get a thumbs up from you and subscribe to the channel. As always, stay cool and stay safe.